The echoes of Hollow Creek in the small, rain-soaked town of Hollow Creek, Washington. Nestled between dense pine forests and jagged cliffs, life moved slowly. The town's 3,000 residents were tightly knit, their routines predictable. But in the autumn of 2022, a series of events would unravel the town's quiet facade, exposing a web of secrets that led to one of the most bizarre true crime cases in recent memory. It began with the disappearance of Evelyn Harper, a 28-year-old artist known for her haunting landscapes of the local wilderness. Evelyn was a solitary figure, often seen sketching by the creek that gave the town its name, Kun. On September 15, 2022, her neighbor reported her missing after noticing her mailbox overflowing with uncollected letters. Police found Evelyn's cottage eerily untouched. Her easel stood in the living room, a half-finished painting of the creek drying on it, and her hiking boots were missing. Her phone, wallet, and a journal filled with cryptic sketches of eyes and spiraling patterns were left behind. The investigation started slowly. Hollow Creek's police force, unaccustomed to serious crime, assumed Evelyn had wandered into the forest and gotten lost. Parties scoured the woods, but the only clue was a single boot found near the creek's edge, its laces neatly untied. Case turned to weeks. The case grew colder, and whispers of foul play began to circulate. Evelyn's journal, when examined, revealed an obsession with the Watchers, a term she used to describe unseen presences she felt in the forest. Some dismissed it as an artist's eccentricity, but others wondered if she'd stumbled onto something sinister. Case took a sharp turn in early October when a second person vanished. Thomas Reed, a 45-year-old mechanic and single father, Tama, was last seen leaving the town's only bar, the Rusty Anchor. On October 3rd, his truck was found abandoned on a logging road, its engine still warm. Unlike Evelyn's orderly cottage, Thomas's home was in disarray. Drawers yanked open, papers scattered, and a strange symbol, a spiral with an eye at its center. Symbol matched one from Evelyn's journal, igniting speculation of a connection. The police, now under pressure, brought in state investigators. Kungavoom. They uncovered that Evelyn and Thomas had been seen together weeks before their disappearances, an unlikely pair given their different worlds. Call. A bartender at the Rusty Anchor recalled them arguing in hushed tones about the old mill, an abandoned structure on the outskirts of town. The mill, a relic from Hollow Creek's logging heyday, had long been a place of local lore, rumored to be haunted or cursed. Teenagers dared each other to visit it, but few ventured inside its crumbling walls. A search of the mill revealed chilling evidence. A hidden basement, accessible only through a rusted trapdoor, contained a makeshift altar adorned with candles, bones, and more of the spiralized symbols. Among the items was a locket belonging to Evelyn and a wrench engraved with Thomas's initials. The discovery electrified the town, fueling theories of a cult or serial killer. The media descended, dubbing the case the Hollow Creek Mystery. Suspicion fell on several townsfolk. First was Margaret Voss, a reclusive herbalist in her 60s who lived near the mill. Margaret had a reputation for eccentric behavior and was known to warn people away from the forest, claiming it was alive, calm. Her home was searched, revealing jars of strange herbs and a notebook filled with spiraling sketches, but no direct evidence tied her to the disappearances. Next was Daniel Klein, a charismatic pastor who led a small, fervent congregation. Daniel had preached about cleansing the town of sin, and some recalled Evelyn attending his services before distancing herself. His alibi held, but his evasive answers raised eyebrows. As winter set in, a third disappearance shook Hollow Creek. 19-year-old Sophie Chun, a college student home for the holidays. Sophie was last seen hiking near the creek on December 10th. Her camera, found snagged on a branch, contained photos of the forest and one blurry image of a figure in a hooded cloak standing among the trees. The figure's face was obscured, but the Spirelli symbol was faintly visible on the cloak. Panic gripped the town, and the police faced mounting criticism for their lack of progress. In January 2023, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A local teenager, Ethan Wells, came forward with a memory card he'd found near the mill months earlier. He'd been too scared to share it, fearing retribution. Card contained grainy footage of what appeared to be a ritual in the mill's basement. Hooded figures chanted around the altar, and a woman's voice later identified as Evelyn's cried out, "You can't hide forever." The footage cut off abruptly, but it was enough to warrant a deeper investigation. Forensic analysis of the mill uncovered traces of blood from all three victims, though not enough to suggest murder. The police theorized the victims had been taken elsewhere, possibly alive. Spirulli symbol was traced to an obscure 19th century text about a sect that believed the forest was a gateway to another realm, guarded by entities they called the Watchers. Sect had supposedly died out, but the symbols and rituals suggested a revival. The case's strangest twist came in March 2023. When a hiker stumbled across a cave deep in the forest, hidden behind a waterfall. Inside were Evelyn, Thomas, and Sophie alive, but disoriented, dressed in tattered clothing, marked cleat. They claimed to have no memory of the past months, only vague recollections of lights in the trees and voices that were in human. Medical exams showed they were physically unharmed, but exhibited signs of prolonged exposure to an unknown substance, possibly a hallucinogen. The trio's return was hailed as a miracle, but their stories raise more questions than answers. Evelyn resumed painting, her work now dominated by images of glowing eyes. In the forest, Thomas became withdrawn, refusing to speak about the ordeal. Sophie, however, began blogging about her experience, describing dreams of a place beyond the trees where time didn't exist. Her posts attracted a small but fervent following, some of whom claimed to have seen similar lights in other forests. The police closed the case, citing lack of evidence to pursue a perpetrator. No arrests were made, and the hooded figures from the footage were never identified. Margaret Voss moved away, and Daniel Klein's congregation dwindled. The mill was demolished, but the Spirelli symbol began appearing in graffiti around town, as if the mystery refused to die. Come, the unraveling twist. Stunning development in April 2024. Sophie Chun published a memoir, Echoes of the Creek, revealing a bombshell. She believed the disappearances were orchestrated by the victims themselves. According to Sophie, she, Evelyn, and Thomas had been part of a secret group experimenting with altered states of consciousness, using rituals and psychedelics to commune with the forest. Spirali symbol was their creation, inspired by the old sect, but reimagined as a modern art project. The kidnappings were staged to draw attention to their work. But something went wrong, possibly a miscalculation with the substances they used, leading to their genuine disorientation in the cave. Sophie's confession was met with skepticism. Evelyn and Thomas denied her claims, insisting they were victims. Case. The police reopened the case, but Sophie's memoir lacked hard evidence, and no charges were filed. The town fractured, with some believing Sophie's story and others convinced the watchers were real, perhaps even extraterrestrial. See. Online forums buzzed with theories, from government experiments to paranormal entities. The astonishing ending in January 2025. A final twist emerged. Documentary crew filming in Hollow Creek captured footage of strange lights moving through the forest at night, forming patterns that resembled the spirali symbol. The footage, verified by experts, defied explanation, too deliberate to be natural, too complex for simple drones. Crew reported hearing faint, melodic voices, though their equipment picked up nothing. Days later, Sophie vanished again, leaving behind a single note. I was wrong. They're real. Hollow Creek remains a town divided, its residents haunted by the possibility that something human, supernatural, or otherworldly still watches from the trees. Spirali symbol has appeared in forests across the Pacific Northwest. Each sighting accompanied by reports of missing time or unexplained lights. Case of Hollow Creek is no longer just a mystery. It's a phenomenon, one that challenges the boundaries of reality itself.